Welcome to our Integrated Literacy Unit by Jill Schneider and Christina Hamester. We won't have time to discuss every slide, so some are intentionally without narration. These were left in the presentation because we know as teachers these elements are important and you may choose to pause the video to read the slides if you wish. Our unit encompasses a 9th grade World History's 2-week study of the Holocaust.
We chose to incorporate the book Night by Elie Wiesel, a true story told by Elie as a Holocaust survivor. This book's free readability suggests it to be a 6th grade reading level. However, the content, vocabulary, and extreme themes make it more appropriate as a high school text, as suggested by Scholastic.
This unit will be taught to a 9th grade social studies class of diverse learners, including a majority of English language learners and struggling readers. The class meets for 45 minutes each day. The unit will cover 2 weeks or 10 days. In a gist, our rationale is to integrate reading, writing, vocabulary, and assessment strategies that focus on struggling readers and ESL students in this unit of 9th grade social studies. Throughout the unit, we hit various content standards, but our main focus is Standard 16, that oppression and discrimination resulted in the Armenian genocide during World War I and the Holocaust, the state-sponsored mass murder of Jews and other groups during World War II. Our goals range from general to more in-depth, and our biggest assessments will be on the last 2 goals: that students can identify a thesis and support or refute their position, and that students can identify how and why oppression and discrimination resulted in the Holocaust. We use Teach for Understanding to make sure each step of our process is clear to all learners. Sheltered instruction is particularly useful for English language learners as it exemplifies connections to text through cooperative work and visual formats. Vocabulary instruction gives each student meaningful words to use within the context of our content. Literacy instruction connects learners to various styles within our text set that include informational, psychological, visual, digital, and auditory. And finally, our unit comprises teacher-facilitated discussion to lead the class in meaningful conversation as they analyze and apply concepts to the tasks at hand.
Before reading, students will express prior knowledge by filling out the first 2 columns of the KWL chart: what students know about the Holocaust and what they would like to know about the Holocaust. We will then fill in the last column, L, later on. Then students will also participate in a kinesthetic agree or disagree activity, answering morale statements that address themes of the Holocaust. During reading, students will participate in a chalk talk of why people do bad things. When reading articles, students are shown how to use the insert method, codes, and window notes to record notes and thoughts as they are reading. The Milgram experiment and the Stanford Prison experiment are 2 articles to further explore the idea of why do people do bad things. Students will compare and contrast the experiments with a set of criteria. When reading the informational text, students will participate in the jigsaw strategy and relay information they have learned to one another. Once we have completed the unit, students will write out some of the key information they have learned in the L column of the KWL chart. Students will use this to write a reflection covering the themes and topics we have studied in the unit. Vocabulary strategies include Mind's Eye for students to visualize and make predictions about their readings, vocabulary bookmarks and journals to record new vocabulary as they read, the Freyer model to make words meaningful to each student, and visual mapping in order to show relationships between the vocabulary they are learning. Students will write a journal entry or letter to someone describing events and situations that occur in the Holocaust. They will use information from primary and secondary sources in order to determine which events they will write about. Students will have an opportunity to write a persuasive piece about whether they believe the Nazis were justified in their role in the Holocaust. They will have to create a thesis and find supporting evidence to their claim. Students will participate in several quick writes, as well as exit tickets as checkpoints for the teacher throughout the unit. For formative assessments, we observe students working on the KWL chart and completing the jigsaw activity. We check student writing through quick writes and exit tickets. For summative assessment, we have 2 short Kahoot quizzes over the novel and themes of the unit, and we also have 2 writing projects including a diary entry or letter and a persuasive essay, which are graded with a rubric. Differentiation in reading will be available through tiered reading of the same articles at different Lexile levels through websites Common Lit and Achieve 3000. Compacting allows for an extension of independent activities, and flexible grouping allows students to be placed by common native language or language proficiency, reading abilities, and learning styles. Differentiations in writing follow similar practices. Tiered writing allows for differing requirements without removing the core elements of the assignment. Some students may write an opinion and support it with evidence, while others may produce a descriptive paragraph or draw an image to summarize their ideas. Compacting allows for writing extensions based on student interest. Flexible grouping allows for students to be placed again in homogeneous or heterogeneous groupings. The first week in the unit consists of building background information of the Holocaust as we begin to read the novel Night. The second week of the unit will consist of finishing the novel, reading supplemental articles, completing a writing assignment based on what they have learned, and reflecting on the unit.